So does this issue seem familiar? So you're riffing on a guitar, but the placement of the volume knob means that you're either constantly hitting it or at times, sometimes brushing against it. So what are the solutions for, say, this guitar? I could look at maybe moving the volume pot down here, getting rid of the tone pot completely, but I kind of like having the tone pot for certain parts, and it's also a push-pull, which is quite useful. So what remains is that, well, I could maybe drill a different hole further down, but I don't really want to do that either. So one of the first things I thought of was, well, if I want to keep this guitar as is in the same placement, let's see what happens if, I just take the actual volume knob off and see if that helps. Now it's super easy with these knobs, as I just have to unscrew the screw that's on the side of these with an Allen key. I've done that already, so I could just pop it right off. And you can see itself that the knob is quite weighty. And then we're left with this. So as you can see from the tone pot, there's a lot of extra space gained, especially in height. And the thing is, now it really translates to when you're playing, because as you can see, while that knob is still there, it's a lot lower. And so either my hand goes above it or I'm not hitting it at all because I've got that extra bit of space that's there. And the cool thing is I can now play kind of riffs, and the lower part of my hand is no longer hitting into that volume knob as it's not sticking up so high. And yeah, I still have access to the volume knob, but it's maybe not very aesthetic and it's not easy to use like this. So I thought I'd have a look online and see if I could maybe get smaller volume knobs. So I had a quick look online and I found this really tiny, volume knob through Amazon actually. And it's only, I think it's 10 millimeters high. It's really small, and importantly, it has the correct shaft diameter to fit on the volume pot that I'm using. So typically it's like 6 millimeters, I believe that's the standard size. But as you can see next to the original volume knob, there's quite a big size difference. And there's also quite a big height difference. So now I can add this onto this guitar, and it's really easy. I just push the much smaller volume knob onto the volume pot over here. So it's perhaps not the most aesthetically pleasing, but at least now I have a volume knob which I can quickly grab onto for swells or just dipping the volume, whatever, and it's out of the way when I'm riffing. Now the cool thing here is that my hand is basically most of the time like drifting over the top of the knob as it's lower profile and it's quite small as well. And that was one of the issues I was having with that bigger volume pot and also the placement. I could, I guess, change the tone pot here as well to like this tiny knob. But it's kind of cool to have something bigger that you can grab onto because it's easier then to do the push-pull split on the neck humbucker. In any case, I hope that was useful. I'll leave a link to this volume knob in question, but in essence, you're just kind of looking for a smaller knob that fits the right diameter of the pots that you're using in your guitar. In any case, thanks a lot for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Take care.